Buddy the Cool Geek here, and I'm actually with another video. And today we're doing a character dissection on Hinata Hyuga. Yeah, I got a request for this one about 7 months ago. So it's it took me a while to get this video out, but I wanted to make it high quality compared to like a lot of my other videos. Um, so yeah. Speaking of which, a lot of my old videos I'm gonna retcon soon and start like redoing them, like way better. But yeah, so Hinata Hyuga, she's one of my favorite characters in the series, and in addition to the request I got, one of the things that made me really want to make this video and make it high quality was because after I started doing research for this video, I found out some people think Hinata's a worse character than Sakura, and I think that's really bad, but you can sort of make your own decision about that after you watch the video. But yeah, so yeah, I got a request from this is the first time. I guess I should preface a little bit before I start rambling on about this, but so I got a request for this video in the comment section of my Naruto Was the Underdog video. It's the most controversial video on my channel. It's not really a character dissection. It was just me like ranting in front of a static screen for like 20 minutes. But yeah, and so I'll leave the link to that video in the iCard. But as you'd know, if you've been on the channel for a while, I made a video called Top 5 Worst Naruto Characters. I'll also leave a link to that in the iCard. But yeah, Hinata's not one of them. Hinata, like I think I said this already, but she's one of my like top favorite characters in the series, like top 50 characters. But yeah, so we're gonna just hop into it now. The thing about Hinata is that she was bullied as a kid, right? Because we're gonna look at her like mental state and see how she like progressed with her character development through the series. That's sort of the format we're going with today. So we're gonna start off, right? She was bullied as a kid, right? She was bullied with this like pseudo racism thing about her like eyes, because if you like know about Naruto, right? You'd know that certain clans have certain like characteristics. They're called Kekkei Genkai. It directly translates to bloodline limit. Although it's directly described in the show as a bloodline trait, which would be more which is like what they sort of refer to it as. But so the thing about this, right, is these weird like punk kids, like they're really weird. They're like, "Hey, show us your Byakugan. Your eyes are creepy." And then she says, they say you're actually just a monster, aren't you? Like, this is some weird like sort of thing. Like, the kids are weird, but we're not focusing on them today. The video's not about random bully background kids. And they call her a Byakugan monster, and she starts crying because her mental state is fragile. But we'll go over that a little more in a bit. But here's something that's worth noting, right? Naruto intervenes. He gets up off his little swing, and then he tries to get him to stop. Now, keep in mind, this is like pre-Ginny Naruto. He can't even use like the basic clone jutsu, and he gets the snot kicked out of him. It's just kind of bad, and Hinata, is grateful. Timid little girl. She, is like, thank you. She bows. And then Naruto like smiles, feels good about himself. Now, that's sort of something that I think needs to be sort of explained a little bit. Now, let's take a look at one of the things that irks me the most about like Hinata, like what happened to her. Now, she's a member of the Huey clan, like I said, so she consistently has to like spar with her 1 year older male cousin Neji. The one who like it took like 3 like Jonin to hold him back when he was like beating Hinata up, funnily enough, in the tuning exams. Yeah, him. Well, back when they were both kids, they sparred, and she like consistently got slapped by him like all the time, like every day almost. And one day she like tells Neji that she doesn't like to practice taijutsu, and Neji responds by saying something that if he was older I would be a lot more like mad about. He says, "You're the important successor of the Hyuga clan." Now, this is going to be a recurring theme when we're talking about Hinata. Every time she has like an opinion or like something happens, she's sort of like confronted with this "but the clan though" attitude. It gets on my nerves a lot, and I think it's really important in talking about Hinata's character. Um, but to get more of like what we're talking about here, here's another example, right? Hinata, she starts, feeling, a bit salty about getting beat up every day by her older male cousin, and she runs away. But then like Naruto finds her and brings her back, and then he says, "You live in a big house like this, and you're crying?" I don't have anyone, but I never cry. Then he emphasizes this by saying never once more, right? So I think that's really important. Hinata, being this like fragile little girl, that's always getting beat up by her cousin and bullied and crap, sees Naruto, who has literally no one, right? Keep in mind, I mentioned this in my Naruto's the Underdog video, but he's an orphan, right? No family, no friends. If anything, he only has like enemies, and then he directly says he never cries. While he says he doesn't have anyone, right? He doesn't have anyone, but he never cries. And he says that, with like this weird smile on his face, right? So after Hinata's like dad like notices she's gone and goes to look, he doesn't say, "Oh my daughter, oh my gosh, I was so worried." No, 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 none of that. He was like, "What do you think you're doing? You are the important heir to the main family." So imagine this, right? You have a daughter, and she runs away because you were forcing her to spar with her older male cousin, right? You forced her to do this even though she didn't like to. And then she runs away because you were a bad parent. And then when you finally find her, you lecture her about her being the heir to the main family, right? So, again, she literally runs away because she has this weird sort of clan thing dangling over her head. And then she gets tired of it, and she runs away, and when she gets back, what happens? She gets confronted with this "but the clan though" mentality again. It's like the entire thing that drove her away is back soon as she gets back, like immediately. It's like, what the heck, dude? Like, become a better dad. Like, come on, how are you gonna do that to your kid? Like, what the? Like seriously, if you're a kid and you like run away, and then when you get back, your parent doesn't like put you on like timeout and like says, "Oh, I missed you." Like, how dare you make me worry? If your parent or parents say something along the lines of, "How dare you," or "What do you think you're doing?" and doesn't mention your personal safety at all, there's something wrong there, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and then it sort of ends up becoming like ultra normal for like Hinata after like Himari was like born or whatever, and like gets like old enough to like talk and such. Like, Hinata goes to Himari and is like, "Sorry I'm late," not even, "Oh yeah, sorry, I had to get beat up for like an extra amount of time." Now, she doesn't even mention how she got beat up, and you can visibly see the bruises and scratches on her face. And she doesn't say anything. Now, it seems like she's sort of taken a chapter from Naruto, because again, he said he didn't have anyone, and he never cries, and he said that with a smile, so Hinata sort of has this smile on her face. It's sort of cool, especially considering that the Naruto, like, she looks up to, is like this stooge almost, like, he's like, almost completely useless, like, besides just like getting in the way and being those bullies' punching bag, he didn't really do anything else. And so, she smiles, and the next thing I'm about to show you is one day Hinata has to like spar with Hinabi, and she loses the match, and what her dad says next, dude. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he says to fall to Hinabi. He's 5 years younger than you. Enough. You may go. Like, what? Like, it makes me so triggered, dude. So, you make two of your kids spar, right? It's not too bad, other than the fact that you're forcing one of them because they don't like to practice fighting at all. Now you can make arguments for like, well, like kids and like girls especially should know how to defend themselves, but this specific way of teaching, I get it. You're a clan, you have your traditions, but for your little girl to you're letting her consistently get beat up by like other members of the family, even though she says she doesn't want to. Like, come on now. And then when she gets beat up after she already told, like, has, like, expressed that she doesn't like to practice in the first place, it's so bad, dude. It's everything she does or says, and, like, I don't want to practice, she gets beat up, it's like, she's bruised, it's not even like she's, like, hurting, like, with no visible signs of anything, you know, that coach thing where they say, I'll walk it off. She's literally getting bruised and bodied. It's like really bad, and all her dad and like relatives can think about is the clan. Like this, but the clan though mentality, it takes over Hinata's life. Like it's really bad. Like, come on, dude. Like just put yourself in her shoes. It's like you don't like to fight, you don't like to practice fighting, yet every day you're forced to fight someone who's 1 year older than you, right? When you're like, what, like 8, he's like a year older than you, and you're a girl and he's a guy. And I don't know how many of you know this, but dudes are genetically stronger than girls, right? It's not me being sexist. It's science, right? Dudes are typically stronger than girls on average. Um, Now it's an age gap, not a huge one, but it's there, and that whole, males are genetically stronger because testosterone thing, right? Now, that's very important because so you don't like to fight, but your dad forces you to fight someone older than you, stronger than you, bigger than you in like every way, and you don't like it, you're getting forced. And every time you like lose a match to like pretty much anyone, you get lectured. Like, literally, you get lectured for being bad at something you don't even want to do, that you can argue is hurtful to your overall health and well-being. It's not just like school, like, oh, I don't like school, but it's like benefiting you because it's making you not dumb. It's like, this thing, you're getting beat up. Like, it's not even educating you about anything besides, like, not getting beat up, even though it's really like sort of weird, so like keep that in mind. And then after a while of Hinata getting beat up and saying she doesn't want to practice taijutsu, her dad decides, you know what, I'm just gonna ship her off as a genin to go be a ninja, right, with her a jonin instructor. Now that on its own isn't really bad, it's what he says when he ships her off with this jonin, right? The Kurenai, right, the jonin in charge of Hinata, says, are you sure about this? Hinata's the successor of the Hyuga clan, right? Not even, are you sure you want to, like, send your daughter off on dangerous missions? Like, no, no, no. The clan, bro. So, like, this random stranger's like, but the clan, though, right? But what her dad says is even worse, right? He says, do what you will with her. The Hyuga have no need for such a person. So, imagine you're someone's daughter, and he tells someone that's going to be in charge of you that do what you will with her. Or heck, even if you're a little boy, just like your parent says, do what you will with my kid. Like, that's so vague. Like, you can literally use that to justify anything. Like, she could literally like sell Hinata in the black market and then say, well, your dad said do what you will, so I'm just gonna sell you like into like slavery or something. Like, that's how like bad this is, right? And like, come on, it's so. And then Hinata's listening. Like, you can see her like outline right here. It's so bad. Like, that's directly hurting her self-esteem. Like, so, okay, not only is your parent at this point, right, saying, alright, yeah, I'm gonna ship you off with, like, this person, but you hear him saying that this random person you've probably never even met before can do whatever they want with you, and that the clan, though, has no use for you. So that's the reason he's shipping you off, because apparently you as an individual doesn't matter to him, it's only the clan. So, and now the next thing is why some people, for some freaking reason, think that Hinata is, like, worse than Sakura. Because Hinata, like, tried to, like, fight pain, and she loses. And, like, Sakura doesn't. But, if you look at this from an analytical point of view, right? Sakura, she sits there crying and yelling for Naruto. Naruto, help! Don't get beat up. Whereas Hinata is proactive, you know? She jumps onto the battlefield and helps Naruto. She fights to the end where she, like, almost, like, dies, and she still fights for Naruto, while Sakura's just sitting there crying, doing nothing. Keep in mind, at this point, Sakura has practiced medical ninjutsu, and we see this when she heals Hinata afterward, but before she heals Hinata, the Leaf Village is getting bodied. Naruto starts to get bodied. Sakura does nothing. She doesn't heal anybody. She just sits there and cries. Hinata actually protects the main character, you know, and it's not like she just gets beat up and, like, nothing happens. No. She helped to overturn the terrible situation. I'll get into that a little bit more later, but when, like, her dad finds out, he has this weird, like, mad, like, almost puzzled but mostly mad look on his face and says, Hinata did that, huh? You know, the grandpa, he'd wrote MVP, so he was like, you know, I couldn't believe Hinata was capable of so much, you know, giving her some props, you know, credit where credit is due. But, and then, this scene is very interesting. Hinabi says, I bet elder sister was never a failure after all. Who put into this kid's head that Hinata was a failure in the first place? Because she got bodied by Neji, the actual strongest member of the Hyuga clan? Now, like losing to him in a fight isn't exactly an anti-feat, bro, and it's really weird. It's like, what the heck? It's like, because she doesn't like to fight? How does that make her a failure? It's like, come on now. It's like, sure, she's not very good at something she never wanted to do in the first place, and she's getting literally forced to do. Okay, like, how's that bad? Like, come on now. Now, here's some more of what I was talking about, right? She gives this, like, dialogue, and it helps us see a bit into her psyche, right? So, she tells Pain that she won't let him hurt Naruto anymore, right? And then Naruto's like, bro, like, run, you're no match for him. And then she says she's there because she wants to be. And then she says this time she's gonna protect Naruto. And then, she says she was always crying, giving up, you know, low self-esteem. And then she basically says how Naruto, like, saved her psychologically. She made the wrong turn, and, you know, Naruto helped her back on track, you know. And now she says how she always chased after Naruto, right? And then she says something that Sakura also said. She wants to walk beside Naruto. Now, if I remember correctly, Sakura said that she wanted to be useful at the beginning of Shippuden. And this is a little bit into Shippuden. It's not like halfway in, I don't think, if I remember correctly. But at the same time, um, Sakura at this exact same scene is yelling and crying and doing nothing, whereas Hinata's actually doing something. She's accomplishing her goals, right? Sakura, oh, I wanna be by your side, Naruto, and never fights and helps Naruto until, like, the late war arc. Whereas, like, Hinata's fighting and mid Shippuden, not late Shippuden. It's like, come on, dude. Like, how do you think Sakura's like like better than this? Like, what? And so yeah, she actually, like fights beside Naruto, or like beside Naruto's like trapped body, I guess. And then she says how Naruto changed her. Good old character development. And she says she's not afraid to die. And I think this is important because there are a lot of characters throughout fiction, and specifically, I'm gonna take a look at Sakura. Not that I hate Sakura or anything. I specifically said in my top 5 worst Naruto characters video that I didn't really want Sakura on the list. Um, but see, the thing is, right? Sakura, even when she fought in like the war arc, she didn't really do anything like fight wise. She did heal some people, give credit where credit is due, right? But she didn't fight really until she awakened the 100 healing seal, right? And after that, like keep in mind, this seal you can heal from pretty much anything besides like getting like cut in half. And if you have enough chakra, you can heal from getting cut in half as long as both of your like pieces are like by each other. Like kind of how like certain characters like I think Deadpool even does this sometimes. He'll like get his arm cut off and then he'll like grab his arm and like put it back on and then it'll like heal back on. Well, yeah, you can do that with the 100 healing seal. So there was no real threat of her like dying against like Madara and Kaguya. Now I do think she was useful in that fight, but we're not looking at like usefulness. We're looking at how Sakura hasn't shown that she's like not afraid of dying, whereas we directly get like a monologue of Hinata saying she's not afraid to die. And keep in mind, I don't think I have to point this out to anyone, but I'm going to anyway. Hinata doesn't have the 100 healing seals, so like if she gets like cut like really badly or like cut in half, she's dead. Like there's no coming back for her unless like like freaking reanimation jutsu or Rene Tensei, but we don't talk about that. So except for that, there's no coming back. Whereas Sakura, she gets like cut in half. You can just like bring her like legs back to her body or whatever. So it's less of a chance for her to die. So yeah, I think, and then she said she wants to protect Naruto. Then she confesses her love, which is another thing that's really good character development because there are people even in real life would rather like get beat up or like die than to say that they love someone like to their face. Or she doesn't say it like directly to his face, but you get the picture. Like he can hear her, you know what I mean? She's like right there. And then like because that's a really big deal because I know a lot of like dudes that even at the age of like 16, like as of right now, because like I'm actually 16 right now and a lot of my friends are, and Hinata's, at the time this scene was taken was 16. A lot of dudes that I know would rather get like beat up by like a buff ripped like meathead Chad at the gym. They'd rather that than to like tell a girl that they like them. So like I think that says a lot. She goes from like barely like saying anything to like confessing her love. I think that's a pretty big deal. And then to hammer home the fact that she's not useless at all, she kicks the movement restricting rods that are pinning down Naruto. She kicked one of them, snapped it, did a good old job. You can see right here, part that she kicked off. And then right here, she uses the twin lion fist to punch one. You can see the piece right there. And so she actually helps the situation, whereas Sakura does nothing. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good evidence for her, doing something in that fight. Because when I heard people, like, saying, oh, she got beat up by pain, bro, it's like, well, first of all, it's like the strongest member of the Akatsuki. Second of all, she didn't just get beat up, she helped to remove the movement restricting rods. And also, if you will remember, the reason Naruto got all triggered and went all like Nine Tails mode and started wrecking pain was when Hinata basically like died. So now she didn't like die, but like I'm pretty sure Naruto thought she died because like she got slammed on the ground and it looked like Nagato or Pain, whatever you want to call him, stabbed her with one of the movement restricting rods. So as far as Naruto knew, she was dead. So that's why he like raged out and started bodying Pain, had that whole conversation with Minato, etc., etc. So that's like a major plot point for like Naruto, and it helped him from not like dying. Because keep in mind, if Hinata didn't come in and like save Naruto in this instance, Pain would have took him back, extracted the QB from Naruto, and it would have basically been GG, you know, like they would have went, you know, everyone like the entire because if I remember correctly, right, the only tailed beast that wasn't captured by this point was B. Well, was like the 8 tails and was the 9 tails. So after they get the 9 tails from Naruto, they'll like just keep them paralyzed like that until like the entire Akatsuki goes to jump B, and as if now looking back, right, that like this is around the time because like Sasuke went after B, right? So if we say that Sasuke and every other member of the Akatsuki goes to jump B, I have a hard time seeing them losing, but that's not what the video's about, right? So they go jump B, they go capture him and extract the 8 tails, extract the 9 tails, boom, got the 10 tails, and you know, Pain wins, you know, the series is over. No War Arc, no Madara, no Kaguya, no Naruto surviving, no Boruto, none of that. Wait, no Boruto, that actually sounds like a good idea. Anyway, let's not talk about that. But in any case, right, it would have been really bad for the series. The series would have ended, you know, nothing else would have happened. So I really want to I really want to hammer that home. But yeah, so anyway, later on in the series, Neji he dies. Spoiler alert, Neji dies. F in the chat for Neji, guys. F in the chat. Anyway, so after Neji dies, Naruto gets in like this like depressed mode, and then like Hinata like snaps him out of it by like slapping him and like says, "Come on, Naruto, you never go back on your word. That's your ninja way, and it's my ninja way too." So, you know, even in the war arc, right, she's even, like, useful then, whereas some people are completely useless and just, like, even though they have god weapons that they can use to win the war, they don't do anything. But anyway, back to Hinata. She actually does something, right? So by far not the most useless character. Now that we've, you know, looked at her psyche and, like, how things have transpired. I hope you have a little more knowledge on the character Hinata. Um, that's pretty much all for this video. Let me know what you think. How good was the video? Or bad was it? You know, comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know if you want me to do more character dissections. If so, what character do you want me to break down next? Breaking down Hinata was pretty fun, but also pretty frustrating at the same time because, oh my gosh, I had to see bad parenting and, like, Hinata getting beat up by her male cousin. That also didn't sit well with me, but anyway, guys, that's pretty much all for this video. And join my Discord servers, you know, maybe, if you want. Link in the description. To both my servers. One is a versus debate server. We talk about versus battles and we debate, you know, versus matchups. And the other one is it's for pretty much everything else. If you want to just like randomly like talk about anything you want, you can. If you like video games, there's like a gaming chat, so you can like hop in VC, you know, play Minecraft or something like Roblox or I don't know, GTA, you know, Halo, whatever you're into. Um, there's ASMR chat, you know, guys, ASMR. Anyway, no, this is an ASMR channel. Anyway, um, so yeah, you can do pretty much anything. You can debate real life topics, you know, if you want to debate things like abortion, gun laws, whether or not it's immoral to be my friend Death the Disbanded. Anyway, um, oh yeah, I should go to his house so I can throw shade at him in his face. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me stop rambling. Um, thanks for watching. The Cool Geek out. Bye.